Today's Legal Line, our topic, what to do if you're pulled over by law enforcement. Legal analyst Jeff Hosford from the Hosford Law Firm joins us now live in our studio. And Jeff, what's your advice for drivers?
Well, obviously the first question is to always cooperate and keep your hands where the officers can see them, and they'll tell you what's going on from there, and then you answer their questions and we go forward.
And what do you do if you're suspected of DUI? Can you refuse a breathalyzer? How does that work?
In the state of Mississippi, if you refuse a breathalyzer, that puts you in a situation where your license will automatically be suspended for 90 days for refusal. Basically what that means is the state law requires you to submit to that breath test or blood test, and if you fail to do that, then the state automatically suspends your license for refusal, and you can fight that in circuit court, but that is a separate action from your DUI charge.
And what happens if the test is invalid or doesn't go through for some reason?
Tests can be invalid for several reasons. For example, if the system that is testing you is not working, typically referred to as the toxalyzer, it could be invalid because the test sample didn't register a sufficient amount to allow it to proceed forward. Or two, if you had a situation where you didn't blow hard enough in the machine, or you simply spit into the machine and caused an invalid sample. If you continue to do that over a certain number of times, the officer will then write you a ticket for refusal typically.
Can you happen to refuse to roll down a window if you happen to be at a checkpoint? I know some lawyers in other states are saying you are legally able to do that.
There's lots of YouTube videos about people hanging items out of a window and going through a roadblock. Obviously, I don't advise that if possible, but there is questions about whether or not that'd be legal. If you're handing them the identification that they required and the piece of paper that they required, that's all you have to do. You do not have to talk to officers in America. You do have a right to remain silent, and obviously the stance on those YouTube videos is that you're exercising your right to remain silent. However, it is good practice to cooperate with police officers and do what you can to make the situation as easy as possible for both of you. The more difficult you make it, the more difficult it can be on you and them. Obviously, don't turn a safe situation into a dangerous situation for both of you. But my recommendation is, if you can, make it easy. If you feel like you need to hand something out your window, then that's your choice. You do so at your own risk.
All right, good advice there. Thanks, Jeff. And of course, if you have a legal question for him, email us at legalline@wcbi.com. Well, Alabama